Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Danny, and so this is my official video recognizing that we have gone over 100 subs on the channel, and this is us recognizing it and announcing a 100 subscriber giveaway. Real quickly before I get into that, this video is delayed a little bit. I think we went over about a week ago, or really close to a week ago. But I've been waiting on some product to come in to get this giveaway going, and the rest of it came in today, and so that's why I'm just now getting to it. I think the last count I was at like 109, maybe 110, something like that. So a few thank yous to do on that. Of course, John Sports Cards, thank you, man. You mentioned me in a video the other day, and that sent some people my way, and I greatly appreciate that. My buddy Amio, Tenny, man, it's nuts. Both of our channels recently blew up. I mentioned you at the end of my channel intro video. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it below. But I think most everyone has seen that. It's been so fun watching Amio's channel grow, and mine growing at the same time, and having that energy between our channels. It's been pretty awesome. D's Card Break, just an incredible guy. Love his content, love interacting with him. JB Sports Cards, Prism 280, Poor Man Stack. A lot of the ones I mentioned in my previous video, like I said, has helped push us to where we are today, and I just appreciate that. So, what are we going to do for our giveaway? Well, I thought about this, and I had a couple of different ideas, and what I kept coming back to was, man, let's get back to baseball card collecting like when I was a kid. And in particular, when I was 12 years old. And so when I started thinking about that, I was like, dude, it just makes sense. And your buddy Danny here was 12 years old in 1988. And so what I've decided to do for our giveaway items, I am actually going to draw 4 different winners. And I am going to send each winner a box of baseball cards that you see out in front of you. So 1988, you had the big 3 of Topps, Donruss, and Fleer, but then you were also introduced to the Wildcat, and that is Score. And people give Score up the road as far as being, something weird or whatever. And I attest 1988 to being the year that the baseball card market started to decline, because the market was just saturated. I mean, the very next year you were introduced to Upper Deck and Bowman. So then you had 6 big manufacturers out there. And but anyhow, Score was ahead of the game because of their packaging. And if you're familiar with their packaging, you know what I'm talking about. But anyhow, so how does one become eligible for this giveaway? Well, here's what you got to do. You got to be a subscriber to the channel. And here's the thing. I'm a quality supervisor, and so I'm going to audit this stuff. I have to be able to tell that you're a subscriber to the channel. So if your stuff is set to private, if your status is set to private, or settings are set to private, and I can't tell you're a subscriber, then I'm going to have to disqualify you. So make sure that I can tell you're a sub to the channel. I need you to like the video, although I can't prove whether you did or not. And then I also need you to leave a comment down below. And you can say whatever you want in the comment. But at the end of your comment, I want it to have this right here. Hashtag 12 again with an exclamation point on it. I'm turning my viewfinder a little bit so I can see it. That's in the light. Say whatever you want to say. You can even have your Wicked Family or your Card Mafia, Card Crew, whatever you want to say, but have this in there as well. Hashtag 12 again with an exclamation point. If you can do those things, you will be eligible for this giveaway. Now, I have mentioned that there is like a quest within the quest, or whatever. It's kind of a 2-tiered giveaway. So if you are lucky enough to be drawn for one of our 4 items here, and again, this is not affiliated with YouTube, there's no purchase necessary, I'm not trying to sell you anything or whatever. If you're lucky enough to be drawn, and we'll run this until midnight Friday night and try to do the drawing this weekend. If you're eligible, and win one of these items, there's something else that I want you to do. And to understand that, I'd like to get into a little bit of baseball in 1988, if you will. I'm going to reminisce a little bit, and I got some notes here and some other things. So in 1988, one of the biggest teams in the land was the Oakland Athletics, Oakland A's. In particular, the Oakland A's had a couple guys playing for them that went by the Bash Brothers. They kind of established themselves in 1987 when Mark McGwire had the monster year. That year, I think, he hit 49 homers or something like that. Well, in 1988, they kind of flipped places, and Jose Canseco rose to prominence. And actually, Jose Canseco won the American League MVP in 1988. What I say? They won 104 games. They were a wrecking crew. Now, if you'll take a look at something, I'm going to kind of hold some stats or whatever up in front of you. This is the American League MVP voting. You see, you have Jose Canseco at the top. Dennis Eckersley from Oakland also got some votes, came in 5th. Dave Henderson came in 13th. Mark McGwire came in 19th. And then you had Dave Stewart down there at the bottom, came in 22nd. So a couple of pitchers and 3 different players. Out of 26 players that got nominated for the American League MVP, 5 of them played for Oakland. So Oakland was the juggernaut team of 1988. Made it to the World Series. Now, how did they get to the World Series? Well, they actually played the Boston Red Sox in the American League Championship Series that year, and swept. The Oakland A's swept the Boston Red Sox. Now, Boston Red Sox were no slouch. Guys like Boggs played for him. Mike Greenwell played for him, and actually, Mike Greenwell finished 2nd that year to Jose Canseco, as you probably saw on my voting right there. Mike Greenwell came in 2nd and had a great year. Now, that was the American League. So, American League was represented in the World Series by none other than the Oakland A's. In the National League, it was a different story. Now, the National League, you had, in the National League Championship Series, you actually had Sorry, I'm looking at some notes, making sure I don't forget anything. In the National League, you had the Los Angeles Dodgers face the New York Mets. Now, the interesting thing about the National League voting, if you take a look at that, number 1 up there was Kirk Gibson from the Dodgers. So, Kirk Gibson won the National League MVP, but it was a little bit closer. Next to him was Darryl Strawberry. There was some other Mets. Kevin McReynolds came in 3rd. Orel Hershiser from the Dodgers came in 6th. Steve Sachs down there came in 18th. So, National League was a little bit different. Now, the National League Championship Series actually went 7 games that year with the Dodgers and the Mets. And I want to talk just a little bit about that. Well, I had some results, but the National League Championship Series MVP that year was actually Orel Hershiser. He pitched a couple long games, got a couple no decisions early. Actually came in for a save in Game 4 because their closer had gotten suspended. I think the game before, and came in, completed an extra inning game, I believe, in Game 4. I think it went 12 innings, and Hershiser got called in for the last out. And then came in and actually threw a complete game shutout against the Mets in Game 7 to put the Dodgers into the World Series that year. So World Series was set, Dodgers versus A's. Now, the Dodgers were not favored to win the National League Championship Series. The Mets were. And then, of course, going in, facing the A's, who just swept the Red Sox, the Dodgers were not favored to win the World Series. Actually, they were, I don't even know that they were given a chance. But anyhow, so 1988 World Series, let's talk about that for a minute. So in Game 1 of the World Series, you had both of your league MVPs kind of showing up and showing out. Canseco actually hit a grand slam for Oakland in Game 1. It was his only hit of the whole World Series. But it was a grand slam that gave them the lead. But crazy thing is that was overshadowed by none other than the National League MVP Kirk Gibson coming in for a memorable pinch hit walk-off home run for the win, and Dodgers took Game 1 in a high fashion. I don't think Kirk Gibson was called to play again in that series. And, if I had editing software and had the ability to, I'd play a clip of that memorable home run right now. It was just phenomenal. So in game 2, Orel Hershiser actually got to start. He pitched a complete game in that, and also got 3 hits of his own. He hit the ball 3 times as a pitcher and got an RBI, and the Dodgers took game 2, so up 2-0. Game 3 rolls around, and Oakland actually won that game, where Mark McGwire hit a home run in the 9th inning, and Oakland took that game 2-1. And that was also Mark McGwire's only hit of the series, if I'm correct. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So Canseco and McGwire only hit 1 ball each, but they were both for home runs. So it was pretty phenomenal. Game 4, Dodgers won 4-3. Game 5 comes around, and Orel Hershiser actually started the game again. He pitched another complete game, only allowed 4 hits, only allowed 2 runs, struck out 9, and the Dodgers beat the A's 4-1. And Orel Hershiser was named the World Series MVP. Orel Hershiser won the National League Cy Young Award. You had Dennis Eckersley winning the Cy Young Award for Oakland. So this literally was a World Series where the 2 best teams in baseball actually faced there at the end. Now, arguably, one might say the Mets were, but on the National League, but the Mets were favored to win the series, but in a close series. But the Dodgers came out on top, and then the Dodgers came out on top again for the World Series. So here is what I am proposing for my 4 winners. For my 4 winners, when you get this box of cards in your possession and you get to cracking them, what you're going to do for me is you're going to look for an Orel Hershiser card. And the moment you find an Orel Hershiser card, you can stop and let me know. You're going to need to get this on video somehow. So hopefully this goes to YouTube creators who will shoot a video for me. And maybe it comes to someone that this will be their first video. That would be a super cool deal for me. If you can find an Orel Hershiser in your box, I will send you a PSA Graded Orel Hershiser from your set. So there's a PSA 9 in the Topps set. I actually wound up getting a PSA 10 in the Donruss set. So that was a treat. I got a PSA 9 in the Fleer set. And I got a PSA 9 in the Score set. So should you choose to accept it, my 4 winners are going to go on a hunt for Hershiser, and like I said, the moment you find one, you can let me know, and I will mail you your follow-up prize. And hopefully you guys think that's pretty fun, pretty cool. Like I said, it's neat to have 4 different winners. But you can see I had to get 8 different products shipped to my house to be able to announce this giveaway. So hopefully you like this little walk down memory lane, talking about the '88 World Series. It kind of got overshadowed the next year when the World Series between the A's and the Giants was over on the left coast and had the earthquake. And once the earthquake happened, that was kind of the most memorable one of the '80s. But anyhow, guys, so leave me a comment. Let me know how you think this contest is going to go. Now, I will tell you this. My buddy Tony Black opened a box of '88 Topps the other day, and I watched his entire video, and Tony, correct me if I'm wrong. I'll even try to post a link to your video below. I don't think you pulled a Hershiser. Please let me know if you did. I was trying to watch that and multitask and do some other things at the same time, but if you did, that's awesome. Maybe you pulled it early on. Guys, once you pull your Hershiser out, if you want to give the rest of your box away or if you want to rip the rest of your box, it's totally up to you. And my apologies, the Topps is sealed, the Donruss is not, the Fleer looks kind of rough, and the Score is not, but it appears to be in great shape. Nothing's been tampered with as far as I can tell. It's just some old stock, and again, I had to get it in here as soon as possible. So, but the PSA grades are in front of you. And, leave me a comment, like the video, be a subscriber, give me a hashtag 12 again with an exclamation point. We'll do the drawing this weekend. We'll cut it off late Friday night. And, guys, I'm pretty excited about this. I probably won't do another giveaway till I hit something like 250, another milestone. But I'm super excited to hear what, the guys that, frequent the channel a lot. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about it. This is a little bit different. That was what I was trying to do here. Have some fun with it. Talk about baseball and talk about some stuff that meant a lot to me as a kid. This guy was the biggest name at the end of 1988. This guy was the superhero of the 88 World Series and the National League Championship Series. So that's what I got for you today, guys. I hope you dig it. Please participate in my giveaway and, let me know how it's going. And, guys, we will catch you in the next video, and we'll definitely have something going on this weekend. I got a busy week. I got a daughter graduating high school and got some family coming up, but this should be fun, man. I'm super looking forward to it, and that's going to be it for today. Y'all take care, and we'll catch you on the next one.